What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome back to another Axe Entertainment video. And today we're not going to do what we've done so far on the channel, which is a Jeopardy. I'm going to get into ranking every Wrestlemania 40 match. There's 13 matches on the card. We're going to go from 13 all the way up to 1. I want to do more videos like this, just talking about wrestling, just doing wrestling related stuff. Not just Jeopardies, but I am working on other Jeopardies, so that will be coming soon. I missed my Wrestlemania opportunity, but I might still do a Wrestlemania related Jeopardy if you guys are into that. And I'm also sitting down, something I never do in videos, but I'm not going to drag on this intro any longer. Let's get right into it. Starting with number 13, and the worst match by far on the Wrestlemania card was the match that I was personally top 3 excited for, and that's Jimmy versus Jey Uso. Seeing that this match was a dream match for both men, and that this match was heavily promoted, and it's just, you got Jimmy going from SmackDown coming over to Raw and mess with Jey, and all this build, and at the end it kind of seemed like they were just getting lumped into the Cody and Roman rivalry, which was okay, but I think they still have their time to shine. And the fact that they didn't do anything except for super kicks, and I know this match is hated everywhere. I couldn't personally find any good out of this match other than the fact that Jey won, which is the right winner. It's just, this match was so boring, and I was so excited for it. And it's their dream match. Like they talked about their dream matches, it's each other, and they have that match, and it's just terrible. And it did not perform. Two of my favorite wrestlers right now on the main roster, and it did not perform for me. All right, coming in at number 12, we got Bianca, Naomi, and Jade taking on Damage Control. It's Jade's WrestleMania debut. I'm a huge fan of Jade Cargill, and I'm glad Naomi and Bianca both got onto the card, because they're both, all three of them are amazing performers that did not need to be left off of WrestleMania, and I'm glad they found a match to put them in. I'm glad they got their time. It's just, it felt more like a squash match than anything. It was fairly boring, if I'm being honest, especially for Jade's, big debut match, actually, besides being in the Royal Rumble. So I think it could have been better, especially with the level of all 6 women. Asuka, even, I didn't mention her, Asuka and Kairi are both great performers, and I think all 6 women involved are great wrestlers, and I think they all did okay. I think it's a difficult WrestleMania to rank, just because all the matches were fairly good, other than Jimmy versus Jey, if I'm being honest. All right, coming in at number 11, we have Rey Mysterio and Andrade taking on Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Now this match, it was really weird for me. It just felt like a copy and paste from last WrestleMania. Just add in Andrade and Santos. And just, we've seen this rivalry between Rey and Santos in this LWO. It just feels like they can't fight anybody that's not involved in that storyline, not from Legado del Fantasma and not from the LWO. They just have not fought anybody recently that's not involved in that. I think last time really there was a big match that was involved these guys that weren't with each other was Logan versus Rey. And I'm glad. I hope this is the last time they fight. And when it comes down to the match was okay. It had its moments. The top part where Andrade put Rey on his shoulders and jumped off the double crossbody from the top, that was sick. There was definitely some good moments. The only thing I think was missing, and I'm sure they'll do it maybe this Friday coming up, but it was missing the Carlito heel turn. I thought that was going to happen right there. It's going to happen. It's got to happen. I thought it was going to happen there. Did not happen. I guess give Rey Mysterio his time to shine. And I think Andrade, getting him on the card is great because he just came back. And I think it's a great win to pick up. But when Dominic has been, doing a lot better recently, and Santos has, been on this tear, it's weird to go into WrestleMania and have them lose, but it's understandable for Andrade coming back and Rey Mysterio, just getting another notch on his bingo card. All right, coming in at number 10, we have Randy Orton versus Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. Now, this match, another one that I was pretty excited for. KO and Orton are both 2 of my favorite wrestlers right now, and Logan Paul, I think if he showed up more, would be up there too. Of course, you can't always do that when you're as famous as he is. And it was kind of weird. Honestly, I know it's going to sound weird to say, but it's weird seeing someone like Randy Orton fighting for a mid-card title nowadays. He seems like all the matches he should be involved in should be for a main title. But they got to bring out the silly side, and the whole build to this match was not very good. It just felt like it was going to be a 2-on-1, and to have Logan Paul, a guy that's only had 5-6 wins, come out and beat two guys that were working together for the most part up until maybe I think about 5 minutes into the match, it's just kind of weird to me. It's understandable to let Logan keep his title, let Logan go out and have some great matches. He's been doing great as US champion for the most part, but it's just the match was a little clunky, a little goofy at times, and I couldn't rank it any higher than 10. Coming in at number 9, now none of these matches, I would say none of the matches were bad except for number 13. But this match right here, Seth versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight title, another match that I was fairly excited for, is coming in at number 9. And it's just, the shock factor was great for a couple of different reasons. You had the Claymore off the riff that could have ended Seth Rollins right away, and I thought that was a great touch, because you're like, oh, he just had this amazing, or this match the night before, and he's probably worn out a Claymore, and he wins right away. It would have been injustice to Seth, but it would have been more shocking. He probably would have came in at number 13 if they had done that, but he kicked out, and they proceeded to have honestly the same match for the most part that they had in was that Crown Jewel, except for the only difference is Drew won, and it just felt like a finisher fest. It feels like every time Drew McIntyre wins a title, wins a main title, it's just a finisher fest. Like, Drew does not need to do finisher fest, especially when put against someone like Seth Rollins. They don't need to just do their finishers, and that's what it seemed like for the most part, was just Claymore, curb stomp, and just kickouts galore. And I know it's WrestleMania, I know it's for a main title, so they're going to be kicking out a lot more of big moves. It's just, I feel like they could have done so much more with, I get he was supposed to be hurt, Seth was supposed to be hurt because of the night before, but Cody came out and he didn't look too hurt. Roman came out, he didn't look too hurt. So I think they could have done a little bit more with this. And then the cash-in, I didn't really factor the cash-in into this because it wasn't a match for necessarily. It was one finisher and take the title, Damian Priest. And I think the shock factor was great. I think that I'm glad they finally are done talking about the Money in the Bank. I'm glad it's finally, been cashed in. And I think I would have liked Drew as a champion more than Damian, but we'll see what they can do with Damian as champion. Coming in at number 8 is two of the top women superstars on the roster, and that is Rhea and Becky. And they were keeping Becky away from Rhea for so long, making sure they never interacted until Becky won the chamber, and then the build was not there. The build just felt like it was Becky versus Nia at Mania, or Becky and Liv versus Nia, and it was a convoluted build with not enough focus on the two women that were actually going to be involved at WrestleMania. And then the match, these are two of my favorite women superstars, so to say that the match came in at number 8 is kind of sad, but there's so many good matches on the card, and this one just didn't live up as much as it could have. I thought there were some good moments. I like that she hit the Riptide into the corner before delivering it at the end. I just think that the match could have been better given the caliber of the two superstars involved. At number 7, we have the Pride, or Bobby Lashley Street Profits, whatever you want to call them, versus the Final Testament of Karrion Kross and AOP. And this match was great. I think every match from here and on was a great match. And this one surprised me because, when you first see it, you're like, this rivalry's been going on forever. Nobody cares about this rivalry anymore. Nobody wants to see Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Kross, and let him do something else. And then you bring him to WrestleMania, put him in a street fight, have Bubba Ray be the special guest referee, and have Snoop Dogg being the commentator. I think those both were two things that helped this match elevate even more, even though it was already great. And just, there were so many great spots. The frog splash through the table. I thought it was kind of weird that the AOP got taken out by a Topa Suicida over the turnbuckle. They got taken out for 15 minutes. That move doesn't take out anybody for that long, but it took out two different guys. And Montez almost got hurt with that move. I think his foot got caught on the barricade. But it was just kind of weird to me that AOP got taken out for that long just for Karrion Kross to get the crap kicked out of him. But I think the match was great altogether, and I think the Final Testament should have won because you're trying to build them as a faction, and since they've been a faction, they've done nothing except for lose. So I think they should have picked up the W here, but not mad at all that Bobby Lashley and Street Profits won that match. Coming in at number 6, we have the main event of night 1, The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, and Cody Rhodes. And that match was better than I thought. Going in, I was like, oh god, like Roman, Roman, Seth, and Cody can all put on great matches. Rock's in his later, a lot later stages of his career to where you never know with The Rock when he comes out. Same thing with like John Cena. You never know when they come out what's going to happen, if they're going to have a great match, if they're going to have a, look old. But I think The Rock did great. I think The Rock looked great. I think the match was good for the most part. I think the right people won because I was really hoping for the Bloodline Rule stipulation. And I think that The Rock and Roman Reigns, I would love to see them continue, be a tag team. I know they'll probably never team again, but it's a once in a lifetime match. So the hype was so high. I don't think it lived up quite as high as it could have, but I think it was still a great match. I think Cody and Roman looked good, or Cody and Rollins looked good for the most part, but having the guy that's going into the main event get pinned was kind of, perfect, because they got the same shot of Cody sitting up while Roman walks on the stage, just like last year at WrestleMania. So I think the Roman and Rock versus Cody and Rollins match was pretty good. All right, we're in the top 5 now. Coming in number 5 is AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Now this match, I was kind of bummed out at first because AJ and LA are both phenomenal, pun intended, wrestlers, and I thought, they should be in title matches at WrestleMania, is what you think when you look at two superstars the caliber of them. But they took what they had and they made a great match out of it. The only thing I didn't like about the match is the fact that AJ Styles got pinned after one BFT. I mean, I know they're really trying to make that move look deadly, but that move is not that great, I'm not gonna lie. But it was a great match. The outside, when they lifted up the padding and the back body drop onto it, it's a spot we've seen 1,000 times, but every time we see it, it's still brutal, it's still amazing. And I think they both put out great performances, but what else can you expect from two guys that are in the top, I'd say, 10 wrestlers right now in WWE? Coming in at number 4 is the Intercontinental Championship match between Sami Zayn and Gunther. Now, this match was, I'd say second least predictable out of any of the matches on WrestleMania, because you can predict, matches, and usually you have an idea of who's going to win. This one was so hard to pick who's going to win, because it's, on one hand, are they going to take it off of Gunther and give it to Sami Zayn when Gunther's beat people like Sheamus and Drew McIntyre in a triple threat last year, and he's beat these these great athletes. And on the other hand, you're like, are they going to have the miracle underdog story of Sami Zayn beating him? And either way, I was fine with, because these two are both great. I think it's great that Gunther loses, because now he can go on to probably have great matches with Cody once the draft happens, and he can go over onto the same brand as Cody. And I think it's great that he's now going to get a move up, hopefully, after his little hiatus. And I think it's great that Sami has a title again. I would have loved to see Sami and KO both walk out of Mania with the titles, because that would have been kind of poetic, since last year they walked out with the Tag Team Championships. This year they walk out with the IC in the US. But Kevin did not win, but Sami did, and it was a great match. The hype of the match was great, and a lot of people wanted to see Chad Gable in that match, but I think it was great that Sami's the one that takes it away. I just hope that he can do for the Intercontinental Championship what Gunther was able to do. And like I said, the match was phenomenal. All right, we're in the top 3, and coming in at number 3, we have the 6-pack ladder match between, let's see, I didn't write this down, so let's see if I can remember. Awesome Truth, A-Town Down Under, The Judgment Day, New Catch Republic, The New Day, and who am I missing? I'm missing a team. Any of you guys in it? Maybe I should have rearranged my Funko Pops so the people that were actually involved in WrestleMania were at the front. one of my favorite DIY. DIY is who I was missing. Johnny Gargano is my favorite wrestlers, and I love Tommaso Ciampa, and I forgot that they were in the match. The six-pack ladder match was great. I'm glad that it got to be one of the openers of night one. Gave you a feel for what was going to happen, and it was very unpredictable. I don't know if I like the fact that they didn't announce that it was going to be two separate titles hanging, because if that was the case, I would have made predictions differently. I mean, I know I didn't upload a video of predictions, but I like the fact that they split them that way. I thought they were just going to put them on the same one with just one SmackDown, one Raw. So I'm glad that they did split them up. I like the fact that one title was won early, and so that left the other 6 teams fighting for that one. The winners, I don't know if I like A-Town Down Under being the ones that won. I love Grayson Waller, I love Austin Theory, but I think DIY or the New Catch Republic would have been great choices, because neither of them have been tag team champions on the main roster. I think they would have been great choices to win the first one, but having a heel pull down the first title is great. And I love the spots. They powerbomb through the ladder. I don't know what Ciampa calls it, but the white noise off the top of the air raid crash, is that what he calls it? Off the top of the ladder was phenomenal. There was a lot of great moments in this match, and I think all 6 teams, I didn't have a bias. I love all 6 teams. I think any of them that won would have been great. I thought personally the Judgment Day was going to keep one set and Awesome Truth was going to take the other set. And then the ladder, the broken ladder that Miz and Priest climbed up, I know they kind of messed up the South of Heaven off the top of the ladder because of the messed up ladder, but that spot would have been great if the ladder wasn't messed up. But sheer anxiety I got watching my favorite wrestler, The Miz, on top of the ladder, broken ladder with Damian Priest up there was terrifying. But I think the right people won the Raw Tag Team titles, and I think there could have been a better choice than A-Town Down Under to win that other set. But in the end, it was still a great match. I think the winners were still fine no matter who you gave it to. And I think that match was definitely number 3 on all of WrestleMania. And number 2 were so hard to pick who was going to be number 1 and number 2, but I ended up going with number 2 being Bayley versus Io Sky. Now what's funny is going into WrestleMania, I was very, very excited for Becky versus Rhea. And I was not as excited for Io versus Bayley, because Io versus Bayley just felt kind of weird to me. The build was like, it was okay, yeah, that's gonna happen, but the build just seemed kind of weird at the same time. And I also didn't like Bayley. I've never really liked Bayley too much, but I will never say that again after this match, because holy hell, this match was amazing. The moves that they hit, the counters they did, the story they told, everything about this match was perfect, down to the last minute detail. It was great. I think the way that, I don't like Bayley's finisher, but the way that Io Sky sold it at the end, how it looked like she just mashed her face into the mat, was amazing. I think everything about this match was amazing. I think the crowd was great for this match, which is kind of nerve-wracking when you get to the match before the main event, because the crowd's wore down, but they're not at the main event yet, so it's like right there. But the crowd was electric for this match, and I loved it. And coming in at number 1 is a match that I did not think was going to come in at number 1. It's a match I was heavily excited for, but Cody versus Roman has to be number 1 for the undisputed WWE Universal World Heavyweight Intercontinental, the WWE Championship. And going into this match, I was so scared because I'm a huge Cody Rhodes fan, but I also respect Roman Reigns, and I was so nervous that Roman was just going to walk out again. And you finally see all these people coming out saying that Roman needs to retain, like people that hated Roman when he first started, this reign. But this match delivered, and it's not so much the delivery in the ring that puts it at number 1, because the in-ring action was great, but it's not anything we haven't seen before, because we've seen it last year, we've seen it the night before. But the surprises, the overbooking, everything about it was great. The bloodline interfering, to get taken out by John Cena, to get taken out by Jey Uso, to get taken out by The Undertaker, which is the last person I expected to come back. It was just, everything was perfect. And what's funny is the Jimmy and Jay part was better than their actual match, and they only hit like 3 moves before the spear. The spear was great. You had people putting their body, and Seth Rollins, I forgot about Seth Rollins, sorry. But you had people putting their bodies on their line that weren't even in this match. And it was great. I thought The Rock was going to have more to do with it than he did, because, he just came out, kind of took off the belt, got chokeslammed, and The Rock, see you later. John Cena was a great surprise. and everyone thought Stone Cold was coming out, but Undertaker was an even better surprise because no one saw that coming. I don't care if you think you did not see Undertaker coming back in this match coming. And the stare down between The Rock and John Cena was great. And then Cody Rhodes finally continuing, I guess, the story was great. The hype, I was out of my chair. I was running around the living room. Everything about that match was perfect, including the winner. I'm so glad Cody Rhodes finally has a title. And I know everyone's saying everyone's going to hate Cody here soon. Everyone's going to wish Roman was still champion. No, Cody's going to be a great champion. He has all the tools that you need to be a great champion, and I think he's going to utilize them perfectly. I think the winner was correct on this match. I think the in-ring action was still great. I think the surprise returns were great. I think everything about the main event of WrestleMania 40 was perfect. And that is my ranking of all 13 matches from WrestleMania 40. I would love to do more content like this. Maybe every time pay-per-view comes around, I can rank the matches or give them grades or something. I love to just talk more about wrestling. I don't get to talk about wrestling with a lot of people, so I would love to just come here and talk about wrestling in front of this camera. I do want to get some more Jeopardies out, and if you guys have any more ideas for videos to make, let me know in the comments. I would love you guys' support. Anything wrestling related, I am open to trying. And I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.